To our breaking news, Tokitae, the southern resident orca living at the Miami Aquarium for the last 50 years, has died from health complications. She was believed to be about 57 years old.
Her death coming at a time when many were hopeful she would be returning back to Puget Sound. We want to bring in Howard Garrett now from the Orca Network. Howard, thanks for being with us. Obviously not the news people were hoping for. Can we first get your thoughts on today's news and also how she's impacted you personally?
Well, I'm devastated. It's been so sudden. Nobody saw it coming. Well, they had some indications over the last 24 hours, and all of her caregivers were around her, so it was as gentle a passing as possible. But she's been a hero to me for over 25 years, and a kind of a mentor. And I've been wanting to bring her home, to do whatever I could so that she could return back to her home. So now she'll have to return as a deceased whale.
Howard, you talked about how she impacted your life, but how did Tokitae's life impact education and awareness about orcas all over the world?
Well, she did. As people learned about her, they learned about orcas, about how they live, how their families are bonded, how they communicate with each other, how they live according to traditions. My point has been always that she was raised, actually taught how to be an orca by her family, by her mother and her family, her whole extended community. And that is true of all those orcas out there. And you know, whether it's coincidence or not, almost all of the southern resident orcas are around the San Juan Islands right now. And that hasn't happened for, I don't know, a year, more than a year, a long time. So I don't know, what that could mean, but her family knows her. I'm sure of it. And even though there's only one member still alive who was alive when she was captured, I think she still has a place in her family.
Howard, the world obviously saying goodbye to Tokitae today, and so there is a spotlight on orcas. We want to take this opportunity to ask you, what is your message about preserving the orca population, also particularly here in Puget Sound?
Well, Toki would have been and has been really a symbol and a banner of her family's needs for a healthy, productive habitat with food, enough food. I mean, I would love to say abundant, but just sufficient Chinook salmon, which is 80% of their diet, and she and her family depend on Chinook. And so when she came back, and for this whole campaign of 28 years now, we have been referring to when she comes home to bring attention to her family's need for more fish, more Chinook, and that means restoration of river habitats and near shores and all that goes into Chinook salmon life cycles needs to be protected and restored.
Howard, before we let you go, we want to hear from you, your thoughts on what happens next with Tokitae and the other marine animals who are still in captivity.
Oh, well, this is all so sudden, but I do hope that her remains will be returned for ceremonial purposes and to honor her life. And I can't even reflect on the greater meaning for captivity in general, except that she is so real. She is such an individual that she highlights that they all are, that they all have personalities, have identities, have awareness, and they all should be treated with respect and honor. And I think she'll help to bring that about.
Howard Garrett from the Orca Network. Howard, we are sorry for your heartache today, but thank you for your time and the work you do here in the Pacific Northwest.
Thank you very much.